everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Banjo and Kazooie. Oh wait, there's no and in there, it's just a dash. At any rate, this is episode 7, where we are going to take on the final standard level of the game, Click Clock Wood. And it's going to be a whopper, because it's not a very simple level. At least on the surface it isn't. And thankfully, actually I just realized we should have gone back and used the red cauldron. I was getting it mixed up with the Click Clock Wood puzzle location, or picture location, painting location, whatever you want to call it. Banjo-Kazooie was inspired by Super Mario 64, so calling the puzzles paintings I don't think is completely unfitting. But yeah, we're going to do the same combination that we did last time, where we go in the red cauldron and then the blue cauldron, as it were, or the ding pots, whatever you want to call them. One day I feel like calling them ding pots, the next day I feel like actually calling them cauldrons. It's kind of funny, actually. And we've also taken care of all 3 Cheetos a couple of episodes ago, and we've taken care of all but one Jiggy to find in Grunty's lair. The last one is going to be hidden in the last witch switch that'll be inside of Click Clock Wood. And we say a heartfelt goodbye. It's not really going to be that heartfelt, to be honest, to Rusty Bucket Bay. That was a mess. And funnily enough, if you didn't watch the previous episode for some reason, the engine room wasn't what gave me trouble. I technically almost did that on the first try, at least the actual Jiggy for it. It was getting some of the extra stuff that caused me to reload a save state, but yeah, the main annoyance was finding the last few music notes, actually, in Rusty Bucket Bay. That's the first time I ever ran into that issue, as far as I know, but yeah, I had to cut out like 10 minutes of footage of me just lurking around the ship looking for the music notes, and they were in the chart room the whole time. I hate that I had to burn off so many golden feathers, because we're going to need them in Click Clock Wood. But, yeah, welcome to the, we're fixing to get there, but welcome to the final level. Final regular level, we still got to do the final boss and all of the stuff surrounding that after this next time on Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. But this time, this is Click Clock Wood, so when you first enter, you'll be on a stump, and there will be 4 doors around you. Each door will take you to a corresponding season, as it were. Because as you can see, Click Clock Wood is structured into seasons. And you might be wondering how that works. Basically, every door will take you to Click Clock Wood. All of these go to Click Clock Wood. But each one will take you to a different version of that level. So in essence, while it is one level, you have to go through that level 4 times with different aesthetics and, well, other differences beyond the aesthetics, truth be told. So we're going to start in the spring, and then we go to summer, and then we go to fall, and last but not least, we go to the winter. May or may not be making some more references to Disney's Frozen. And there are plenty of Mumbo tokens to find here, but actually the final Mumbo transformation is in the spring, and is also only usable in the spring. These plants are called snare bears. You want to use a Wonder Wing and jump right into them, otherwise they're going to give you a big pain. These leaves are still growing, but when we come back in the summer and the fall, I think, they will be grown. There's a lot of water in the spring because I don't know if it's just my climate where I live, but usually April, which is in the middle of spring, is usually a month with a lot of rain going on for one reason or the other. And there's also these bird enemies, which for some reason the first time you kill them, you get like a little cutscene of sorts that points attention to them. And I don't know why they do that, but it's only when you defeat the first bird, and then it doesn't really happen again, regardless of the season, as it were. But Click Clock Wood is basically a gigantic tree in the middle, and there's some stuff surrounding it. I would say in terms of the size and scope, Click Clock Wood is a little bit smaller than some of the previous levels, but because you have to go through it 4 different times, that easily makes it the largest world in the game, technically. Another Mumbo token in the Snare Bear. We might not grab it since it's no longer necessary. We're like 10 over the number needed for the final transformation, as it were. And some of those bird enemies are placed rather evishly, rather fiendishly, I must say. But I guess I'll grab the Mumbo token now, since it's right there. But we are running low on gold feathers, and we're going to need them for snare bears in other seasons, since they'll actually have stuff that's still worthwhile, like music notes and whatnot. As I recall, I believe the season with the most music notes is, what am I thinking of? It's the, fall time. Oh yeah, we also want to put eggs into the hole, so that way we can start growing the plant, which is also going to be an event for spring, summer, and fall, if I'm not mistaken. You might be wondering, what about the winter? What do you think happens in the winter to plants? I'm going to ask you that. Wow, that bull actually caught up to me. I'm a little bit surprised. I wonder if you can kill the bull completely with the Wonder Wing. Like, if it's sort of the prototype to all those other enemies we had to defeat, as it were. These enemies are trying to give me a hard time, but we have so much health that I don't really think that's going to be too much of an issue here. And thankfully, while we did fall down earlier, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. And there's going to be another element that you'll have to come back to in every season, and that's going to be further up along the tree, as it were. There's a Mumbo token down there in the thorny bushes. Well, we probably could knock this out now. If you were a lot leaner with your Mumbo token collection, you might want to do the Mumbo transformation towards the end of the spring segment. Or you could just do what you can in the spring without the transformation and then come back after you do some more progress in the other seasons. That's also an option. A very valid option, of course. But we do have the tokens needed, so let's just go in here. And don't forget to double check Mumbo's skull in each of the 4 seasons as well, as there may be more items to collect, as it were. You know, like I said, I could swear there were more instances of Mumbo tokens being behind Mumbo's chair in his house, or his skull or whatever. But alright, let's go ahead and take him up on the offer for the final transformation in the game. And we're going to turn into a bee! Oh no! Yeah, it's a bee. Just a spherical bee with pants and a backpack. And for those of you that enjoyed Banjo-Tooie, the bee is a transformation in that game as well. However, in this game, the only thing the bee can do is fly up. That's literally all it can do. Sadly. But these plants are called snare bears, not snare bees. So buzz off, snare bear. And we got our first Jiggy right there. So we're going to take advantage of the bee to look around the tree. I'm not sure how much we can get done in bee form rather than, normal bear and bird form, as it were. And controlling the bee is similar to controlling Banjo and Kazooie while they are flying, as it were. You don't have to do this, but gold feathers are nice. So, another thing, there's a lot of elements of Click Clock Wood that change over the seasons, okay? I know I'm trying to point attention to only like 1 or 2, but it's actually a lot more than that, so. And there's a Mumbo token there, and I feel the urge to collect it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm literally using the final transformation of the game, and I still feel compelled to collect, and collect, and collect! It's the collecting bug, I'm telling you. And, wait, bees are insects, right? I know that spiders are considered arachnids, but aren't arachnids not an offshoot of insects? I don't know. I'm sure some biologists are going to disagree with me there. But, it's whatever. But, yeah, there's this beehive over here, and we're gonna see if we can investigate this as a bee. And look, another free Mumbo token. They're just giving these away, I'm telling you. God, it's a little annoying trying to navigate with the bee, though. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, because the flight controls are not that accurate. God. Let's just try to land on the hive again and try my luck, as it were. To be like, yeah, just like that. That's what I was trying to do. So the beehive is mostly only relevant for spring and summer. I think here we're going to see a Jinjo, perhaps? Maybe? Yeah, there's a Jinjo there. There's one, actually, one of the seasons will have 2 Jinjos, and each of the other ones have 1 each. Actually, it's very possible that there's another one here in the spring, but that one is the Beehive Jinjo, and yeah, getting out of here is an ordeal with the bee. I seem to remember the controls for the bee being slightly more fine-tuned in Tooie, while in Tooie it also had the ability to sting. There's also a giant egg there, but that we can't do anything about it because we are a bee that can't ground pound, as it were. But it doesn't mean we can't knock out some other stuff before we go return to Mumbo Skull, because we basically got the one thing we needed to do with the bee, which was the Jiggy, as it were. And there's another Mumbo token there, but trying to land with the bee, oh, it is a process. It is a process, but if we do this now, we don't have to do it later with Banjo-Kazooie, and funnily enough, we're right above Mumbo's skull. So this is probably a convenient way to get to the skull without using the wading boots, right? I don't know. But, yeah, that's pretty much all you need to do with the bee for now. We are actually going to have to come back and turn into a bee when we are completely done with Click Clock Wood to get the last Jiggy in Grunty's lair. But you might be wondering where the Witch Switch is. It's located in the winter, which does mean it's going to be towards the end of the level, because you have to do the seasons in chronological order at first. The switch for spring is in the center hub, the switch for summer is here in the spring, and so on and so forth. So now, let's try to climb the tree as Banjo-Kazooie, because we do have to take care of that egg situation, among other things, because, yeah. There's also a beaver by the name of Naughty, which is the name of the beaver enemies from Donkey Kong Country. So there is a beaver that we need to talk to in the summer and the fall, as well as in the winter, in a way, I should say. What do I mean by in the winter? Because you assume that the water will be frozen over. Yeah, you are right. The water will be frozen over. So how are we going to enter his house if it's underwater? The answer to that is a very frustrating one. Again, doing another safety state here to cut down on the backtracking, because if I fall, well, it's a long time to backtrack up the tree when you're not a bee that can at least fly upwards at a very fast speed. The bee is very good at that. I will admit that much. Actually landing, though, that's where it gets a little sticky. Sticky like a snare bear, I guess. But, yeah. Thankfully, we already took care of the Jiggy earlier. Here's the switch for the summer. It's just along the way on the tree. But the bee can't ground pound, so what are you gonna do? But, yeah, there we go. Summer is all unlocked and whatnot. And over here, we enter the house of a squirrel named Nabnut. Or is it Nabnuts? I don't know, it's one of those. Another Mumbo token here, just to get it. But, yeah. I wonder if Nabnut was an inspiration for Conker in a way. Because, well, actually, no, probably not. Because Conker was introduced with Banjo in Diddy Kong Racing before Banjo-Kazooie even released. Which is, kind of interesting in retrospect. Yeah. How often do you see a character get introduced in a spin-off of another series, and then they get their own full-fledged game series afterwards? That doesn't happen very often to my knowledge, but we got a shock spring pet over here, because this is one giant egg. And Beakbuster, and we hatch a little baby eagle! Oh, eerie! I don't know, or is it Irie? It's probably Irie, because why would you name a baby eagle Eerie? Because he's not eerie, he's adorable. And I am proclaiming him to be my son. So hopefully we'll be doing some more stuff with that in the later seasons. So, yeah, this part is very tricky to platform, because like the log platforms are placed just barely within your jumping range, as it were. Like, I'm having to stand on the edge before I do the crouch jump, okay? Oh darn, the Jinjo was right here all along. We should have grabbed it with the bee, but no big deal. Just only 1 or 2 gold feathers down. I think we'll be good with just 4 when we inevitably have to deal with the snare bears in the other seasons. And one of them they have music notes inside of them. And when you don't have access to the bee, that's a little annoying. And we're gonna get that extra life just because it's the new session, and I did start from a fresh file. So I do believe that we are done with the spring segment of Clip Clop Wood for now, and the totals should probably look something like this: 20 notes and 2 jiggies, which sounds about right, to be honest. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. And, I tried to do a beak buster at the last second there, but anyway, there's Naughty down there in the water. Does he have dialogue? Yes, he does. Hey, somebody move this boulder! Naughty can't get in his house. Don't know why he's speaking in the third person. Some people are guilty of doing this, I must admit. But you don't see me doing it. And I'm usually guilty of some silly habits. So I don't know. Alright, we're gonna leave spring behind. Worst case scenario, you do have to, if you want to get the Jiggy and Grunty's lair, you do have to come back here to turn back into a bee, so there is a second chance to come back there for a last-minute sweep, as it were. In the context of this Let's Play, that'll probably be a jump cut situation. And now we enter the summer. So, the gremlin enemies... Yo, Irie! Irie's hungry. My son, I will bring you 5 caterpillars of your choosing. Not sure if there's exactly 5 of them in here, or if there's more. Anyway, Yellow Jinjo, hidden right here in the yellow stuff. And some bees are just laying around and they will chase you this time. They're not all limited to beehives this time around. So yeah, let's go ahead and collect this caterpillar, or worm, I don't know, same difference. And now these leaves are growing and there are musical notes on them. And they are also slightly annoying the platform on, so... Yeah. Only 2 notes there, which is kind of annoying. So we collected 20 notes in the spring. I don't recall there being as many in the summer, and I do wonder if that's a reference to the fact that summer is usually a dry season, because it's very hot, you see. And you pretty much do have to climb the tree in every season, annoyingly enough. But how much you have to do around the tree also depends on the season. I find that since spring is the first season, that'll usually be the most time you spend going around the tree. But we're just going to make our usual rounds for the most part. We'll go down here to grab this caterpillar, and here's the switch for the fall. You know, where it used to be underwater, now there's the fall switch. With the symbol of a leaf, and the summer switch was a sun. Because, yeah, summer is very hot. Did you know? Oh, man. And now that we've done that, since we have to, we can actually conveniently come back here and address the Naughty situation. So this boulder, okay, you can't beat barge it, but you can do that. And that's good enough. Hey, and there's some music notes and a Mumbo token in here. So yeah, you find Mumbo tokens in the other seasons because the developers assume that you may want to put off the bee transformation. And actually, that might be more optimal, to be honest, because, yeah, but you do have to go through the spring twice if you want to get all the jiggies in the game, so it's whatever. So we've taken care of that. Unfortunately, Naughty's house has a really steep, muddy incline near the entrance, so we need to wait until the fall to go back there. I think the water comes back in the fall. I'm not exactly sure about the method, because, you know, it's just what it is. But we're going to go around here, jump around the pesky bird this time, because, yeah, we learned our lesson the first time, right? Honeycomb. There's another worm down here. And there's a Mumbo token. And a golden feather in the same location as before. What? I wasn't intending to do that, but I guess it's going to work out. So let's head over to the plant, since this is another one of those events that we kind of have to come back for. And hey, it's Gobi from Gobi's Valley! How about we say hi? By beak bustering him on the back. Well, in this case, we kind of need to water the plant, Gobi. So maybe you shouldn't complain so much. That plant is getting pretty big. Interesting. So we'll have to come back to deal with that in the fall. I'm pretty sure the fall is going to be the final time we have to mess with the plant. Oh, these bees are probably going to annoy and harass. Oh, I guess not. Just barely got out of their range there. As usual, you want to double check at Mumbo's. I think there is a caterpillar there, so at the very least we'll get that. In the fall, or I'm sorry, in the summer, you use a shock spring pad to attempt to go over there. Yeah, there's a caterpillar outside of the skull, and there's a caterpillar, at least I thought there was one outside the skull, but at the very least, there was one, maybe in the rafters. Perhaps in the rafters. Oh no, but there's a Mumbo token here. Wow. So it wasn't behind the chair. It was around there. So maybe there's a caterpillar here in the fall is why my memory is going to that. So alley-oop, and let's go on the shock spring pad, and bam. Did we take care of the bird? No, we did not. Okay. So yeah, we're going to climb up the tree. We're going to feed my son, Irie, my eagle son, who I love. Unconditional. That's another Mumbo token. We're not going to worry about that. And I think there's something to do with Nabnut as well. If not in this season, then in the fall. We have an alternate way to go up here with the leaves. So we're going to do a lot more of these safety states because it's a very good idea. So maybe not move the stick there. There's a shock spring pad. Oh god. Very little space to work with over here. And oh, there's a Jiggy there. Oh, well, that's convenient. I guess that would give a justification for the leaf platforms to be there. That's pretty nice. Yeah, a couple of these Jiggies are pretty easy to forget about, to be honest. Another Mumbo token here. It's not that hard to get. Wow, we're almost at 25 Mumbo tokens again. That's actually kind of crazy. So, alley-oop. This should be the last leaf. And, yep. Takes us right to another caterpillar, as it were. So we have enough caterpillars to feed to my son. Oh, and the house is complete, too, in the summer. That was fast. So, I guess we'll come over here. Unfortunately, they're still working on the flooring of this house, so we're going to have to do some tricky platforming. Which, yeah! It's going to be one of those situations. Wow, seriously, game? Like, seriously? There we go. Yeah, very tight platforming here. Very easy to fall down and take a lot of fall damage there. But almost halfway through with the Jiggies, which makes sense because we are almost halfway through the seasons. Yeah, I'm going to reload that, unfortunately. So, alley-oop, get the extra life again, and the Jiggy. And I guess I should make another safety state when I get back, because, yeah, it's just one of those situations. Alley-oop, there we go. Let's do another safety state there. Yeah. And let's just leave that house and address the whole rest of this season. Oh yeah, and we also have to do the beehive. Oh man, now I really wish I had more gold feathers, because there's a really good method for dealing with them, and if I use my gold feathers on the bees, then I'm not going to have enough for the music notes in the fall with the snare bears, so I'm really about to have to do this without the gold feather method, because now we enter the beehive and we have to take care of the bees. We actually have to fend them off. So, yeah, let's just do one of these, even though we have plenty of health for it. It's better safe than sorry. So, after Grunty's golden honey piece. These bees are called the Zubbas. So what you want to do is short hop, rat-a-tat-tat. This method, or the golden wings, the Wonder Wing method is pretty good too. So, yeah, I just killed 2 of them right there. I don't know exactly how many you have to kill, but for the love of God, just keep jumping and pecking, and eventually you will make it through this. Do not do the bear scratch. That was a misclick there. Alright, let's take care of that situation. pretty sure we only have to come back here one last time in the fall, I think. And when we do, I believe there are musical notes here. And you're probably wondering what will happen to the beehive in the winter. I'm pretty sure it dies, or it gets broken for some reason. Yeah, that's a very weird way to exit, but I guess we will take it. But yeah, that's going to bring us to the 5th Jiggy, which is pretty nice, and deal with the birds. We still have to feed my son, however. Might be higher up, though, because, yeah. One of those situations. Oh, there's another caterpillar there, actually, so there's more than 5 in the summer. Oh, gold feathers. I know it's probably not recommended, but I really need gold feathers. Especially now that I don't have to use them on the Zubbas. The rat-a-tat-tat method is still pretty good, but it might be riskier. Especially if you're trying to play the game without the extra health. So, you know, that's what the gold feathers will be for. That'll help you come in clutch, as it were. And tricky platforming aside, yeah, we're going to have to go the other way because we need to feed my son, you see. And I think we still need to check on Nabnuts as well. So this should work out fine for the most part. But I really do like the theme of Click Clock Wood, you know, going through the 4 seasons. And while the individual sections by themselves aren't really that large and they don't take a very long time to navigate, as you can tell, we were done with the spring section in roughly the same amount of time as it took to do Mumbo's Mountain in its entirety. But you have to go through it 4 times. There's a lot more going around here near Nabnuts. There's some construction being done here as well. So anyway, thankfully the bees around this beehive won't disturb, but if we go up here, just a few more musical notes to collect, just a few. Because, again, the summer is light on music notes. I think these are the last ones, actually. Oh, there's another worm down there. Don't mind if I do. Wait, is it 5 or is it 10 that we need? I don't know. But we are still pretty close to that amount. Anyway, let's enter Nabnuts's just to make sure there's nothing to be missed here. Because, yeah, you just gotta check on everything and do the rounds each time, as it were. So, whoop. There's some red feathers, but actually the funny thing is the only season in Click Clock Wood where having feathers matters, I should say red feathers, is going to be the winter, believe it or not. Almost an homage to Freezy Peak, I would argue. In fact, one could argue that it's a little redundant to have an ice level and then like 25% of another level also be ice themed. But it is what it is. My son, Irie, we will feed you handsomely. These caterpillars that will hopefully help you grow into a fine, outstanding eagle. Yes, please, that would be nice. And he really does grow a little bit, so it's really interesting how they handle that. Again, you might be wondering, how are we going to collect caterpillars for Irie in the wintertime? And, well, you'll see what happens in the wintertime to Irie. I will say it's very interesting. It's enough to make a parent proud, I swear. But anyways, I'm just going to double check over here. We probably are done with the summer because we literally collected like 3 Jiggies here and 16 music notes. Oh yeah, the extra honeycombs, fun fact, both of the extra honeycombs are in the winter. Yeah. So if you didn't get the Jiggy before, you can get the Jiggy there. It's going to be very hard to not get fall damage now that we don't have the water to serve as a cushion. So these are probably the totals you want to have by the time you're done with the summer portion of Click Clock Wood. I would also argue that the winter season is going to be the least extensive. Fall might have a little bit more going on than summer, though. For, again, very thematically relevant reasons. Also, Jinjos, yeah, we are good on Jinjos. And they were pretty good about trying to match the colors of the Jinjos to the colors of the seasons. Like, the blue Jinjo is going to be in the winter, orange is going to be in the fall, and we had, we had yellow in the summer, and we had purple and green in the spring. Because, Okay, some people might not understand that, but it's not really that big of a deal. Dragonflies are over here, but going into the fall, I don't think there's going to be that many dragonflies around here. So, yeah. Now we have to feed my son Irie 10 caterpillars. That's right. But there were more than 5 in the, can't check the totals right now, but there were more than 5 of them in the summer, so... Yeah, even the stuff you collect that's exclusive to the respective seasons is a little more interesting. And the snare bears are gigantic now, so you might want to be careful. We don't really need mumbo tokens, though. We're not hurting for them, obviously. So I would rather save it for music notes, which there's now going to be a lot more of. I think they're going to be all around the tree this time, instead of like just on the arches and the ridges, as it were. So bam, we're going to grab that caterpillar, and let's go to Naughty's house before I forget. Pretty sure it's going to have a Jiggy in there somewhere. I think it's Naughty's Jiggy that he's giving to you as a reward for helping him get back into his house in the first place. I don't know if you try to go back to the spring and enter if you can get the Jiggy that way, but I wouldn't really risk it. So yeah, we arrived to receive our present. A little bit later than probably planned, but it is what it is. And again, there's only like 2 music notes here. At least I think there's only 2. I better check the other side because it would be terrible to be forgetful. Although, I don't know exactly how many music notes you need to get the very last things in the game, but more on that in the final episode of this Let's Play, which is going to be the next episode. It'll be relevant then. So... yeah. Oh, there's the plant, so, yeah, let's take care of the plant. Music notes over there. Kinda tempted to do a safety state in case I mess this up, but for now, we have plenty of golden feathers, so, yeah. You'll probably use up at least 1 or 2, just getting 3 music notes from the snare bearers. And I think there's at least 2 or 3 of those situations. And also music notes behind the plant over here. Like I said, the fall has a lot of music notes to collect. It's very full of it, as it were. And the orange ginger's over there, so that's convenient. So, back at the plant, Gobi is still here, and guess what? We gotta get more water out of him. So, yeah. And sometimes the beak buster won't work right away, so I think you have to hit him specifically from his back hump rather than his front hump. But now the plant is fully grown and we can get the Jiggy on top of it. But you can't do that right now. We're actually going to have to approach it from a different angle, as it were. So let's get over here. We're going to backtrack a little bit to try and get the notes over here if the bird won't be so pesky. Which they do love to be. They do love to be pesky. Birds being pesky. Besides my precious son Irie. And I will not tolerate any slander. Okay. Let's just get all the notes around the tree now, while it's probably more convenient to do so. So, yeah, let's do that. And then we're going to check Mumbo's skull. There has to be a caterpillar in there. Okay, we got another snare bear situation over here. Yes. Bam. Okay. Only using up 2 feathers. Good. Gotta be stingy with the feathers, I'm telling you. So, oh! That bird thought he was gonna be smart, but no. Not that time. Not that time at all. This bird's trying to get some caterpillar food, but that is also reserved. But anyway, bam! What? Hey! Hey! Freaking hell, man. These birds, I swear to God. The hit detection on the rat-a-tat-tat, or rat-a-tat-rat, whatever you want to call it. It's not a rap. Kazooie is not singing a rap while pecking in the air, so I don't know why it would be called the rat-a-tat-rap. Because this is the story. No, we're not going to do that. So we have the shock spring pad in summer. For some reason, the wading boots have returned. So I don't know why they do that. Now let's enter the skull. The caterpillar was outside the skull in the summer, but it's inside this time. And there's music notes here. Because, of course, there are music notes here. Why wouldn't there be? And it still shows you the Mumbo token count, even when you enter his skull in the other seasons, which I think is interesting. Only 4, and we have a nice amount of music notes there, by the looks of it. I believe we're gonna finish with like close to 80 notes after we're done with the fall and all the stuff surrounding it. So I think the waiting boots are mostly meant for your exit rather than your entrance into the skull, as it were. So it's gonna be time to climb up the tree once again. And I'm not really looking forward to the winter part of Click Clock Wood. And you're probably wondering why that is. Remember how earlier I said that it's reminiscent of Freezezy Peak, and not necessarily all of the good parts of Freezezy Peak. That one annoying part in particular. Now these leaves grew up in the summer, but now they are really tiny. And there's also a Mumbo token on top of one of them. And a very tiny shock spring pad, just like the tiny one that we saw in Mad Monster Mansion. I don't know why those two pads in particular are so small, but they are an exception. They are exceptions rather than... Oh, well no, there's actually another tiny shock spring pad over here. Barely enough space to work with. In fact, that one somehow seemed tinier than the other ones. But okay, now we are up here. And there's a Mumbo token over here. And there's an extra life in the snare bearer, but we don't need it. And I'm not sure if I need any more gold feathers, but I will take them. So the house, now we go inside, and now there's a beehive living here. So I guess the house all along was meant for the beehive to live in. Doesn't hurt to check around the house for potential collectibles, of course. And a caterpillar down here. Yes, indeed. Alright. We still need 2 more before I can even face my son. Before I can even face him, because how can I be a good parent if I don't bring him the food that he desires? But now, actually, Nut has something for us to do. He needs 6 acorns before the winter comes. Yeah. Around here we got 6... Yeah, you gotta collect 6 acorns and 10 caterpillars, just in this section of Click Clock Wood. And people say that Banjo-Kazooie doesn't have a collecting fetish. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there. Now, the hit detection on these acorns is very, it's not good, as you probably can tell. And I think it was a mild oversight on the developer's part, so let's create a safety state here so we can cut down on the repetitiveness. Thankfully, I got that first try, but man, that is a lot harder than it looks. And there are 6, there aren't 5. Usually you only have to collect 5 of something, but this time you have to collect 6. Make sure you're in Talon Trot mode and be very careful with your movement, or you will fall from that slope. That is a lot of backtracking you will have to do if such an event happens. But anyway, it's going to be a nut over here somewhere, I think. Oh, we're going to have to break a window. Be very careful about the recoil on the window breaking, though. And some eggs. Not that we really need them. So for some reason, this part is flooded, but there is a nut here. And this will bring us to 5 total. But where is the 6th nut, you might be asking? Could it be in Nabnuts' house? That would be a really weird oversight on his part, if that was the case. But I mean, I guess we could check. Nabnut is like, hey, you need to collect all of my acorns. If there is one in his house. Wow. I guess he just missed it, you know. It happens. So now we're up to 72 notes. I feel like we're getting close to the max, but I mean, we went up a lot in the note count. So I think we doubled the note count actually. No? We entered fall with only 36 notes. It was 20 in spring and 16 in summer. Yeah, 36 here. That's kind of crazy, to be honest. Funnily enough, usually when you give the nuts back to Nabnut, you just get the Jiggy while his cutscene happens, so... Hey, that's throwing a bone to the speedrunners right there. Saving a lot of time. Oh my god, that was some jerky movement going on there. Yeah. But the best way to deal with the birds is definitely using the rat-a-tat-tap, as it were. And conveniently, the switch for winter is right in front of my son. Matter of fact, I don't even think we need to go up any further. Unless the snare bearer at the top also has music notes, which I sincerely... Oh, and there are music notes around it. Look! my son decided to surprise us with a present of musical notes. Actually, aren't we technically missing 2 caterpillars now I think about it? Which is odd, because I've pretty much scoured the entire place and we still don't have 10 caterpillars. It's kind of odd. Kind of odd indeed. Well, oh yeah, the Jiggy on top of the plant. I actually almost forgot about that. We actually need to go there from... Wait, there was a caterpillar behind my son. He is still a baby. He's still learning. It's an innocent mistake. Okay, so... Yeah, the beehive is going to be over there. So we are going to double check. Yeah, 80 notes by the end of fall. That sounds about right. So we more than doubled the note count, as it were. So there's 44 notes in total in the fall? Man, that is a lot. I'm telling you guys, that is a lot. Oh, and there was a caterpillar here all along. So, yeah. Now I can return and approach my son cautiously. And then we're going to try and jump down from the beehive. Wait, actually, aren't there's supposed to be musical notes in the beehive, too. Man, I'm telling you, a lot of music notes here in the fall. I'm pretty sure there aren't any more caterpillars. I mean, why would there need to be? It's not like a Mumbo token situation where there's like 30 or 40 extras, apparently, by the looks of it. So, Ivory's going to be a big bird soon. I mean, to be fair to my son, he's getting pretty big as it is. So, anyway, let's return here, and thankfully we don't have to deal with the birds. Good lord. And the beehive should be lower down. I'm kind of tempted to jump cut, to be honest, because I've heard he's shown off how to get there like twice. But if I fall down, since I haven't done a safety state in a little while, then I'll do a jump cut. But for now, let's just try to go there the traditional way. We're actually pretty close. Unless the camera jerks around like that, which is never a good thing. And we have to do a lot of this sideways platforming, which is very awkward, but does present an interesting challenge, I suppose. So, alley-oop, alley-oop, and then kill the gremlin, or the elf, or whatever. Oh, there is an extra caterpillar. Interesting. Also didn't notice that hole there, but it works out. Another caterpillar in the hive. So there are more than 15 total caterpillars. Okay. You guys might be wondering what to do with the excess. Just let it rot in your inventory. So we seriously got like 48 notes here, I think? Because we entered with 36 and now we have 84. Wow, that's pretty nuts. Wait. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Alright, well, this caterpillar is here also as bait, because we need to jump from here to the plant to get the Jiggy, and we should be done in the fall. Done with the fall, as it were. Down with the fall. That doesn't really make any sense, but, okie dokie, artichoke. So there's only 2 Jiggies left. They're both in the winter. And, yep, 84 notes, 8 Jiggies, and the 2 extra honeycombs, which, as I said, they're all in the winter. So, alley-oop. And let's go down, and oh god, gotta watch out for the bull. You know what they say, when you mess with the bull, you get the horns. I'm actually wondering if it's faster and safer to swim to avoid the dragonflies, because, yeah, they can be pesky. Although I don't know if they can actually hurt you while you're swimming on the surface of the water. I know it sounds weird to think that, but you never know. You never know with games. Sometimes the physics don't really make any sense. Especially true with older games, I find. Actually, we have leftover gold feathers. Let's grab the Mumbo token and be on our way. 3 gold feathers. Definitely going to be trying to accumulate before we do the final events in the final episode. So let's go ahead and head back to the winter. And head back to the winter time. Wait, head back? What am I talking about? We're going there for the first time. Although it's going to be familiar because, yes, it's similar to Freeze's Peak, including the dreaded return of the annoying evil snowman that really tore me apart when I first played this game as a kid. Didn't seem to. I don't think I struggled with them as much the second time when I was a teenager, though. So there is that. So there is a flight pad over there. The water is frozen over, so Naughty is essentially locked behind us. But here's the thing. Also, the snare bearers they died off, so that's actually pretty cool. And there's a Mumbo token where the plant used to be. So that's interesting. But anyways, oh, and the ice cube minis return as well. Alright, so you're going to want to do a safety state here. Because in order to reach Naughty's house, again, you need to go through frozen water. You need to swim through frozen water. And the frozen water will drain your oxygen as quickly as the toxic water in Rusty Bucket Bay. Which kind of makes sense because the water is really cold. So it's probably less about freezing. It's probably freezing your oxygen in a way. Or freezing Banjo and Kazooie's oxygen. Oxygen, yes. So there we go. I made really good time though. Usually you finish that with only like one left. But anyway, there's going to be an extra honeycomb where the 2 music notes were in the earlier seasons. So there we go. That's the only reason we come back here. The only reason we come back here is for 1 extra honeycomb. You're probably wondering where the other one is. I'm pretty sure it's in Mumbo's skull. If it's not there, well, might have a problem. I'm pretty sure the blue Jinjo is on top of Mumbo's skull. It's a very interesting location for the final Jinjo, yep. Actually, now that I think about it, that's technically why there's 2 Jiggies left here, because one of them is most likely going to be the Jinjo Jiggy, as it were. So unlike Freezy Peak, I'm pretty sure you don't have to defeat too many of the evil snowmen. They're just there being annoying. And also the thorn bushes are frozen over, which leads us to a more convenient flight pad to access than the other one that we passed by earlier. So the navigation for the winter portion of Click Clock Wood is going to be a little different than the navigation for the others because we have access to flight, as it were. Let's go ahead and get the last Jinjo. The very last Jinjo to rescue in the game, matter of fact. That's pretty nice. I wonder if they're going to repay the kindness one of these days. They probably will. They probably will. You just have to stay tuned and see what happens next time on Let's Play Banjo, because we're not ending the episode right here, guys. Calm down. God. So anyways, really tempting to get that gold feather, but we should probably take advantage of the flight. Do check up on Nabnuts again, I think, and we also want to see my son. My son is the one that will give us the final Jiggy, as it were. Oh yeah, music notes. Almost forgot about those. So we're probably going to have to go through the tree anyway. And the evil snowman deserve no mercy. Or the Sir Slushes, whatever. Whatever you want to call them. I call them evil snowmen. So, deal, as it were. Ooh, God, that was barely right there. Oh, so that one had a Mumbo token. Interesting. So I guess we'll kill them just to see what they have, but I don't like having to burn off feathers to do it. But we have a lot of extras, so how did that not connect? Or that, for that matter. That's kind of ridiculous that's what's going on here. So you see how annoying these enemies are, and one reason is the accurate snowball tossing and how particular you have to be with aiming, as it were. So I believe there's a Mumbo token in the beehive, the remains of the beehive. Yes, there is. We're not too worried about it. My son! He is a fully grown eagle now! Oh my God! Look at him! So precious, so majestic. Irie is a mighty eagle at last, flying high into the sky. Oh, it's enough to make me cry. I'm proud of him. Truly I am. But I really would have appreciated a less, the delivery method probably could use some work there. Also not good timing getting the 69 red feathers right there too. But yeah, let's dance a little jig because there's not much left. We have to track down the last few notes, the last honeycomb, and the last witch switch, as it were. But thankfully we can just, and the snow is slippery. Slippery as ice, so we gotta be careful about that. I'm not sure if a safety stick is really necessary because of the flight pad, but might save a lot of time, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. So let's double check here to make sure we're not missing anything. Perhaps the witch switch is found where the Jiggy was found in an earlier season, but we'll worry about that. Now, from Irie's position, we can actually head downward to get the remaining musical notes, some of which we saw during our flight dealing with the evil snowman of doom. But I'm pretty sure there isn't going to be one hidden. Oh, I think I remember now. I think I remember where the extra honeycomb is, actually. So, let's be careful around here. Oh, there's another flight pad. That's actually somewhat convenient. So, let's take advantage of that because... Ooh, let's be very careful here. And use the big bomb to destroy that window. And you have to enter that window specifically. And bam! Holy wow! So that one had an extra life. That's fairly useful. So let's try to get the music notes as skillfully as possible. And there's only 8 left. I think I know where they are. There's the witch switch right there. That is the witch switch. I'm going to want to knock that out real quick. I'm pretty sure that is where it is. So witch switch is underneath a snowman in 2 different levels. Kind of funny how that works out. I'm actually going to create a safety state here because, yeah, we just want to do that. So let's loop around here, and this is going to be... Oh, it's not under the snowman, it's adjacent to him. Well, that's different. So, yeah, I guess we don't have to kill him, but if we don't, he will harass us trying to get the switch. So, yeah, you see what I'm talking about here. I'm telling you, they deserve no mercy. But, ooh, just barely missed it. But I got it that time, so we're alright. And there's the very last Jiggy to collect in the game. In Grunty's lair. And we're probably gonna... Well, hold on. Let's jump off of here, first of all. And then let's try to do this. And let's see if we can access this flight pad area over here. Oh, yeah, that was actually rather simple, truth be told. So, alley-oop. Because we do have to go back to Nabnuts' house to the window that was broken. Because that should be where the last extra honeycomb is. We also still have to collect the music notes. Can't forget about that. So, let's come back around here. You can try flying into it this way. That doesn't really look like it's easy to do. I just kind of got lucky there, to be honest. And let's look for the extra honeycomb over here in what I can only assume is Nabnuts' stash. And our reward is... doesn't seem to have made our health go up. Yeah, it doesn't really make your health go up for some reason. Your health caps out at 8. Which is very weird, because in Banjo-Kazooie it caps out at 10. Alright, so we took care of the snowman situation, and the extra honeycomb situation, and took some serious fall damage. But it's alright, because there's literally a flight pad nearby that we can take advantage of. Or actually, maybe we should just try to climb up the tree the normal way, because that might be faster to get to the area that we saw earlier that had music notes. I know for a fact. Let's go up that. And we still haven't gone inside Mumbo's skull in the wintertime, but I can't imagine there's going to be a lot going on there. So, please tell me there are music notes here. Enough here. It doesn't seem like there are, so we are going to have to look inside Mumbo's skull and see if it has music notes again somehow. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, I mean, I could try climbing up a little bit more, but... Oh yeah, there might be music notes on top of the house. You know, the house they were working on this whole time. Oh, and I guess we're passing by the beehive again. So, I guess we could grab this Mumbo token? I mean, I guess. Why not? Very difficult to escape that, though. As you can see, I had to kind of take a moment of silence there. Let's just go around. Shock spring pad. We should pass by the house before we pass by anything else. I think the order of interesting locations on the tree is the house, the beehive house, then Nabnuts, and then Irie's Nest, as it were. So let's do a safety state here and go ahead and collect the last music notes. At least we should be. Should be. Very little time to go into Talentrop there to collect. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Every single note in Banjo-Kazooie collected. So, yeah, we have everything. We have all the notes, all the jiggies, and the 2 extra honeycombs. We're good. I'm going to jump cut to getting the bee, and I will see you back at the Click Clockwood Hub. Alright, now we're back at the hub as the bee, and I realized that the bees die off in the wintertime too, so that's a pretty cool side effect, as it were. Now, you want to be a bee not just to get this extra life, even though it doesn't matter because we're about to end the episode, but you gotta fly all the way up here, because this is where the last Jiggy's located. And unfortunately, because we're still in bee form, we don't get a final Jiggy dance, but you do get the jingle. So, that's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna finish off the bulk, pretty much everything in the game. All 10 Jiggies in the lair, all 6 extra honeycombs in Sparrow Mountain, so on and so forth. Game total: 900 notes, 100 Jiggies, and 24 extra honeycombs. Just under 6 hours. Not bad for a casual playthrough. Not bad at all. So next time on Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie, it's time to take on that nasty witch Gruntilda and see what surprises are going to be in store for us. So tune in then, and take care, everybody.